I'm a simple man. When I go to a restaurant, if we got time, if they've got an omakase, give me the omakase. You know, I'm not messing with you. We'll get to the game in just a second. We went to a restaurant with my parents this weekend. My mom said, I'll have the soup. The waiter said, to be honest with you, I wouldn't recommend the soup. They made it last night. I tried it. It was oversalted. The kitchen's been slammed today. They haven't had time to make a new batch, so you should get something else. And I said, okay, that's great waitering, okay? So my mom got a different side instead. Then the food took like 80 minutes to come, which was my parents were not very happy about it. I was just enjoying sitting down, but that's a long time. And then they came with the bill, and they were like, we knocked a bunch of items off your bill because the food took so long. And I said, oh, thank you. That's so nice of you. And then my daughter dropped the glass that she had been drinking orange juice out of and shattered it on the floor. Just a cursed interaction from start to finish. Anyway, just a complete disaster. Why did they give a kid a glass? Because it's a trendy restaurant. The kids get glasses. I got no respect for the family fast, or not even fast food, but fast casual chains where when you're like, you order off the kids menu, they give you a plastic cup with a tight lid on it and then like a little paper straw. I can't believe they gave her a glass. Japanese food in Vancouver is pretty good. Dude, honestly, the food scene in Vancouver is pretty good. That's all. Listen, there's problems with the city. I'll be the first person to complain about it. The food scene here is pretty good. It's pretty rare for me to eat at a restaurant and be like, this was pure garbage. Is anybody here a restaurant owner? Yes, no, no, no. I just want to... Oh, we're going. I just want to come out in support of all restaurant owners. And I know you're going to say, like, what do you mean? What's the reasoning for this? Well, I feel like restaurant owners are in a tight spot, okay? And I'm not in the industry. This is just one man's hunch, shall we say. First off, during COVID, they got owned. The world said, please shut down. And they said, okay, we'll do our part. And then they said, open up. And then they said, shut it down. And then they said, open it up, but put the plexiglass up. And then they said, close it down. And then they said, open it up, but get a policeman in there so that nobody from table A ever goes to table C, and then close it down and then open it back up. Okay, but anyway. So 2020 to 2022 was probably super messed up. I can imagine. And then inflation starting in 2022 has made the price of the input costs skyrocket. Restaurants have had to respond in kind by raising the prices of the food on their menu. And now I'm seeing all this anti-restaurant rhetoric online. Now, the anti-tip rhetoric, I do understand. I'm not saying I agree. I'm simply saying I understand. But how is it possible that, like, there are really people out there right now that are operating under the assumption that every single restaurant out there is a ripoff? Now, you could say it's too expensive. That's one thing. But a ripoff is something, that means like the restaurant owner or the management are like trying to bend you over. If it's not worth it for you, that's one thing. But I hate the idea that, you know, every restaurant out there's like no good deals for food in the city anymore. That means like the restaurants are getting screwed over like way more than you're getting screwed over. I mean, there's some restaurants that are trying to bend you over. Don't get me wrong. It just strikes me that people, like, okay, when Subway raises its prices like 40% in 2 years, I'm like, know your food. It's not very good. Like, you need to thine own self be true. You know what I'm saying? But like Mom's Cafe that has like a handwritten sign, and then like an oat milk latte used to be $5.75 and now it's $6.25. I think they're just trying to get by, man. I'm a friend of the small business owner. Many people have said this. I feel like it's very hard for people, myself included, to like recalibrate how much things cost. But like they're not coming back down. So at some point we're doing a disservice to ourselves if we don't at least make an attempt to recalibrate. Like for me, I'm perpetually stuck in the era where lunch should be $9.99. Now, before 2020, there were still a few places, even in Vancouver, where you could make that work. Nowadays, that is not That's not a realistic measure to hit. So I got to recalibrate. I think I've got to start calibrating my lunches to like $15.99 or something like that. And that's I'm talking about at a minimum. How much is a donaire there? Malik, back me up here, or disagree. I would say realistically, you're paying $13.99 plus for a kebab. The thing that annoys me about restaurants, and I'm not, I understand that this is part of the hustle. The thing that annoys me about restaurants these days is that sometimes it feels like they give you a good amount of food for the money, but you didn't want that much food in the first place. So you're sitting there looking at the menu and you're like, oh, it comes with rice, it comes with potatoes, it comes with pita, it comes with Greek salad, and it comes with a little bit of like a chicken breast on the side. And you're like, that's amazing. Can I get like a third of that and pay a third of the price? The answer to that question is no. So when you get it, you're like, well, it's a little expensive, but at the same time, it's a lot of food. But then you're eating, ice cold rice pilaf out the damn fridge 2 days later. Like, what the heck did I pay you $8.50 for this for? Anyway, I'm a friend of the restaurant. I'm a friend of the small business.